This is game 2 versus of PSG Infantry versus Zombo Joe. This is Tal'Darim Alter, and this is the quarterfinals of the lower bracket for the Pain Street Nation StarCraft 2 tournament. Last game we saw Infantry take at the end of the game, it was fairly certain that Zombo Joe was going to win, but both of these players played very well, and it was very even for a lot of the game. My goodness, really late expands from both players.
The map is Tal'Darim Alter. Huge map in contrast to the close quarters of Xel'Naga Caverns in Game 1. We have in the upper left PSG Infantry, and in the bottom left Zombo Joe.
I'm interested to see whether these players are going to play differently from last time, because last time we saw those expansions go down around the 10-minute mark, and with this bigger map, it definitely gives you the ability, it gives you the little bit of breathing room and worry about that macro game. But what's so interesting about the last game is you wait 10 minutes to get an expansion, and yet it's still a huge macro game. How did that happen?
I'm not really sure. It really came down to the timing of the third bases, I think. Zombo Joe was so much faster than Infantry taking that third base, and it really showed in how he was able to keep his production up and running.
Again, it doesn't look like Infantry is going to bother walling off. And I see that a lot with Protoss players, especially when you're not playing versus a Zerg who can get those early speedlings out. And of course, Zombo Joe is actually going to wall off, but not before PSG Infantry is going to be able to sneak in and get a little scout off. Not going to be able to see much, of course, but he's going to see that there's already a gas. Well, hopefully, if he can get around this SCV who's being very good in defending that scout. He's going to try to kill this SCV, but with the other one already out, there's not going to be a lot he can do. Zombo Joe getting a tech lab straight away. And
Infantry fortunately scouted in exactly the right direction. Zombo Joe in exactly the wrong direction. He has not yet found Infantry's base.
Yeah, he is just heading that way now, it looks like. And the good thing is that Infantry, since he doesn't wall off, the later scouting information is actually going to be probably a little bit better for Zombo Joe. But look at this at the bottom, Infantry with that pylon, that secret pylon there.
Infantry opening much the same way as he did last time. Again, starting the warp gate, probably going to be chrono boosting that out, and with the second gas already up. No probes in it though.
Throwing down another gateway, and I don't know that Zombo Joe is going to scout this. This is at his, it looks like that's his third, but this is really way out of the way, and once that warp gate finishes, that's going to give him a huge advantage in getting that army across that map a lot faster.
Zombo Joe going for a little Reaper harass.
There it is, and look at this, he's throwing down a bunker. What does Infantry have? He's coming down with his Zealot and Sentry. I don't think he's going to be able to complete this bunker, but that's gonna just cause a little bit of turmoil in Infantry's base, who had to take 4 drones off the line, and that Reaper is still in there. Actually just goes down to the Zealot. Yeah, I think he forgot to micro it, but he was able to cause a little bit of havoc in his base and maybe throw off his game a little bit.
Looking at the units lost tab, Infantry lost 4 drones there. Throws his harvesters. Still actually ahead of Zombo Joe by 1 in harvesters. Zombo Joe must not be minding his SCV production.
And PS3 Infantry just getting his 2 other gates, going to have a 4 gate, and this pylon still unscouted. And warp gate technology just finishing. Infantry actually throwing down his expansion, and that's about 4 minutes before we saw last game. But it looks like Zombo Joe's moving out with a few units, maybe a small push here. All that Zombo Joe has is a few Marauders and a couple Marines that actually might be enough to take out what Infantry has. and it definitely is. Infantry's going to have to make his way back. If this it continues this way, if if Zombo Joe can keep up the better army while getting this expand down. Oh, look at this! I totally missed the warp in here, and a couple zealots and stalkers coming in to wail on this tech lab. Zombo Joe trying to get back with his forces as fast as he can because it looks like a pylon's going to go down, which that not going to supply block him, but now he's going right after that barracks. He's moving over to, I think he might, no, he's not going to get out of there. And these units, I think, are going to go down. He's already got stim pack researched, which makes that army of infantry's not very good against him, but he actually is moving in with more units. But a push like this from infantry really needs to work because he hasn't even started his expansion yet, and Zombo Joe is already getting his orbital command center.
Infantry sending in another note, pulling back. Going to do a little dance with forces coming from 2 angles, and it looks like Zombo Joe finds the pylon.
Yeah, and that actually may not be too beneficial. Now he's getting attacked from both sides here. And that's going to be able to take out that army.
Infantry with the excellent pincer maneuver.
And he's going to have to lift off that orbital command. This is exactly what infantry needed to do. He needed to stop Zombo Joe from macroing in this game. And he's going to take out another pylon, and it looks like he's going to be able to take out that barracks. If Zombo Joe doesn't do something really quickly, this may be the end of this game.
Looking at the unit counting station, we see 13 total zealots and stalkers with a sentry for infantry, only 2 marauders and 4 marines for Zombo Joe. This looks very grim, and Zombo Joe bringing out the SCVs to defend.
It's not a good thing when those SCVs start coming out. It looks like he's got that bunker. He's actually got 2 bunkers down, so he may be able to defend this, but look how much damage has been done already. He's taking out the mules. He's killing more SCVs. He's got almost no production right now. He has to... if he wants to come back into this game, he has to rebuild almost all his SCVs. And as he is attacking, infantry's getting down his natural expansion. And, oh, man, Zombo Joe is in a poor state at this point in the game. It has really turned around.
With a clutch micro, Zombo Joe manages to repel the push of infantry. However, his economy is shattered.
Yeah, if we look at the income tab, he's just at 120, and infantry all the way up at 700, and he's still, Zombo Joe was not able to take out that pylon, and so infantry can warp in units at will still, and I think that is probably what he's going to do. He's going to go straight after this expansion, which has landed again.
Wise choice by infantry. What he needs to do right now is not be overly aggressive, take out this natural, hold Zombo Joe to 1 base, and expand, take a 3rd at his leisure.
Yeah, with these 2 bunkers, Zombo Joe is going to have a little... he's not going to have a hard time defending this base against infantry. So I think you're exactly right. Infantry just needs to play the game now for himself, get his economy going, and hold off this expansion from getting anywhere.
With those clutch mules, 4 mules on the field for Zombo Joe, we see a 5th coming down. Has enabled him to quickly reinforce with Marines. Has 19 Marines and 2 Marauders on the field right now, and pretty well turtled in with those 2 bunkers right outside his money.
He landed this 2nd orbital command center in the 4th expansion area. I don't know why he didn't land it closer to these minerals. I know he wanted to use it for the mules, but if you're going to land it, you might as well land it closer to those minerals, I would think.
Yeah, that may be a misclick on the part of Zombo Joe.
But the army of infantry just keeps getting bigger and bigger. He has 9 sentries right now, 7 zealots and 3 stalkers. And really, the only thing Zombo Joe can do right now is defend this main base. There's no way he can push out and get his natural expansion. And if that continues in this game, right now, infantry is moving in. It looks like he's going to be able to. He's going to be able to take out one of those bunkers, and really, I think look at those great force fields. He's going to be able to take out this entire army. I would not be surprised if the GG comes very quickly. You can tell that Zombo Joe does not want to lose this game. He's doing everything in his power to repel the forces of infantry, but it may just be too much right at this point of the game. He only has one bunker or barracks left, and that is going down very quickly. He's almost got no attacking units, and infantry is just moving in with more and more forces. Zombo Joe now has no production facilities. He's got a natural, but it's barely producing any minerals. And look, the last army of Zombo Joe is going down right now, as well as all the SCVs that he just created. And there's the WOW from Zombo Joe. And a good game. Excellent. I'm so excited to see this game is going to go to Game 3. Definitely a different style of play from Zombo Joe, who decided, you know, I'm going to get to this macro game a little bit earlier, try to get my economy ready. But Infantry stuck to his guns. He said, I'm not going to build that expansion. I'm going to do that early push. And Zombo Joe was just not prepared.
I think Infantry may have caught on to the macro-focused game of Zombo Joe there and tried to punish that with a little more early aggression.
All right, we will see you very soon for Game 3 of the semifinals for the lower bracket in the Payne Street Nation StarCraft 2 tournament.
I think Zombo Joe's not a fan.